We're spending a lot of time on the authenticity, the feel of all the weapons, the presentation of the story.
You know, we've put a lot of effort into being extremely authentic to the film.
We're Aliens fans, and you know, we've taken the risk to tell the story of what happens next.
Game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
Aliens, Colonial Marines. Where do I even start with this one? Developed by Gearbox Software and published by Sega, this game saw a long 12-year development cycle spanning from 2001 all the way up to 2013 when the game finally saw release. The original version of this game was being developed by Check 6 Games, whose only other credit prior to this game was Spyro Enter the Dragonfly. But that version of the game was cancelled, resulting in it becoming vaporware for the next 5 years. In late 2006, however, things changed. Sega announced that they had gotten the publishing rights to the Alien franchise, and shortly thereafterwards, Gearbox announced that they were working on an unknown Alien project. 2 years after that, in February 2008, Gearbox announced that the game they were working on was in fact the long-lost Colonial Marines. The game saw major hype when it was first announced. Game Informer even made it their March cover story in 2008. But after another 5 long years in development, people started questioning the game would ever see the light of day. But despite supposed layoffs and releasing a whole nother game in the meantime, Gearbox still said the game was a #1 priority for them, releasing screenshots and even a teaser trailer in 2011, pushing the game's date back even further. All this though was just an elaborate ruse. Turns out Gearbox not only did not care about the franchise, but they're also using the money Sega had been giving them to put more content in Borderlands 2, instead of developing Colonial Marines like they should have. And judging by the quality of the first 3 Borderlands 2 DLCs, the money was not well spent. But the truth was discovered when the game released. Reviews ranged from mediocre to abysmal, with sites like Game Informer stating that, and I quote, "At its best, it's very mediocre. The license is all there is." And the worst part is that nobody was really able to see this coming until late into development. All the trailers that Gearbox used for this game were created just to make the game look good. Better graphics, better gunplay, better enemy design, better everything, all in a disgusting attempt to make this game look good. Now, of course, after stunts like that, you'd expect people to be pretty pissed off. And you're right, Sega attempted to sue Gearbox in April 2013 over false representation of the game at PAX and E3. The lawsuits were thrown out of court, but that kind of gives you a sense of all the crap surrounding this game. Fast forward to the year 2016, looking at the game through clean eyes after all the anger and controversy subsided, what are you left with? Could just be truly just a misunderstood gem. No, but I made you think that for a second, didn't I? Well, let's take a look at this crap heap, starting with the story, shall we? The storyline, which was canonical by the way, takes place in between Aliens 3 and Alien Resurrection, the main story following the USS Sephora ship and 3 Colonial Marines on it, Private Christopher Winter, Private Peter O'Neill, and Private Bella Carson, who have personalities as flat as a pancake. As you investigate the distress signals sent from the Sulaco, the ship from the second film, which then of course turns out to be infested with aliens, with Leilani Yutani trying to cover everything up. Soon after investigating the Sulaco, your ship crashes, turns out Bella's infected with a chestburster, and now you're off to try to save Bella, discover the idiotic plot twist, and attempt to foil Leilani Yutani's schemes once and for all. The plot wouldn't be as horrible if Gearbox had tried to put any care into the storyline and also pay attention to any form of continuity with the films. Like the fact that a majority of the game takes place on Hadley's Hope, even though it had been nuked from orbit in the second film. So long story short, storyline's a total failure. Then the question becomes, is the gameplay any good? Short answer, no. Long answer, if Call of Duty and Aliens vs Predator 2 were thrown into a blender with little care for the end product, the result would be this horrible mess. The basic mechanics for gunplay work okay. You have a free weapon limit, giving you a primary weapon like a pulse rifle, a secondary weapon like a shotgun, and then a sidearm like a pistol. The guns themselves range from tolerable to absolutely atrocious. Some of the new guns like the automatic shotgun and assault rifle don't feel too bad, but other guns like the SMG and pulse rifle feel and function terrible. The pulse rifle in particular only having 60 round clip, and a slow as hell fire rate. Other weapons like the smart gun and flamethrower are relegated to being special weapons only available in 1 or 2 parts of the game. despite being standard weapons in almost all other Alien-related games. On the bright side, at least the special weapons feel special. The smart gun has a cool screen that makes you feel immersed in the game, and the flamethrower is just good fun to light things on fire with. There's also a weapon customization system, which is one of the few redeeming things this game has to offer. It allows you to customize nearly every aspect of a weapon, ranging from sights to barrels to even some custom paint jobs. It's nothing revolutionary, and pretty much every game that's done this has done it better, but with a game like this, every good thing counts, I guess. This being a first-person shooter, we need things to shoot, and this game has a large variety of highly intelligent, very smart enemies. No, I'm just kidding, they're absolutely brain dead. The game is the kind of AI that's too slow to keep up, but once it actually does catch up, it never misses. It can damage you halfway across the map. Well, at least that's for the human enemies. The Xenomorph AI is about as intelligent as a plank of wood. They move really slow towards you, often slowly open their arms, make their hitbox as big as possible, and that's saying if they even do anything at all. They'll often stand in one spot, awkwardly looking at you instead of doing what they're supposed to, almost like they're looking into your soul. It's kinda creepy, but if the minute chance the enemies actually function the way they're supposed to, then you have another problem to worry about: this game's health system. Colonial Marines uses a semi-regenerative health system. If you play the first Resistance game, you know what I'm talking about. Your health bar is split into 3 segments, with each part regenerating so long as it isn't empty. Take enough damage and lose one of those segments, you gotta find a med kit. While this works as intended, it seems like the enemies do way too much damage for the system and you die just way too quick. There is armor that you can collect throughout the map in order to lessen the damage you take, but still not effective enough to avoid cheap deaths. Which sucks because this game has a challenge system, and the challenges reset when you die. Similar to the Borderlands games, which were also made by Gearbox, you get extra points for completing certain tasks, like shooting enemies off walls or getting headshots. Now, this all sounds cool, but the big problem with these challenges is that none of them feel balanced, as many of them require for you to be playing co-op. This means you're left with a bunch of unfinished challenges if you can't get a co-op game going. On top of that, unlike the Borderlands games where all challenges were available from the get-go, challenges here are in a linear order, meaning you can't get to the next challenge without completing the one before it. It's incredibly annoying when the game asks you to do things like shoot an alien off the wall or kill some enemies with grenades, when you've been doing these things the whole game, but only 3 hours in does it actually count towards a challenge. What makes it a real brain scratcher, however, is that just a year prior, Gearbox released Borderlands 2, which got this system right. It's hard to believe they put so little effort into this game that they didn't even take notes from the best-selling game in the studio's current history. As for graphics, the game is pretty freaking ugly. Most of the environments look colorless and bland and barely resemble locations from the film. Many of the textures are poorly detailed, while there are a few noteworthy things, like the details on the alien's body. This doesn't make up for the fact that most of the game looks like shit. Character animations and models aren't much better. Most of them look like they bathed in some kind of lotion or something like that, and have this weird shine to them. And the character animations are stiff and unrealistic. The sound is a step up at least. It's not absolutely horrible. The voice acting is decent but forgettable, and most of the guns sound close enough to their film counterparts, though AVP2 still does a better job of weapon sounds than this game. Overall, Aliens Colonial Marines' deep definition of a disappointment. It looked so good for so long, it was like a far-off dream can go, one day we'll have this. Then it finally came out as a complete mess and looked nothing like it had been teased. There are bright spots here and there, and you can see potential it had at times, but all those are dimmed out by the complete lack of effort on the development team. The only good thing I can say about this game is that it makes you respect the Aliens vs. Predator games more, as it makes it even more apparent that even the worst games in the series, like AVP 2008, had a lot more effort and love put into it than this shell of a game had put into it. If you're looking for a legitimately good Aliens game, then pick up Alien Isolation and the first 2 AVP games, as they do a far better job than this game could ever hope to do. And even if they weren't perfect and they had their flaws, at least the developers didn't lie to us, no matter how sweet those lies may have been.